Guys, welcome to another episode of The Pulse. And today we have the pleasure of having comedian, host, multiple Grammy nominations and wins, best-selling author. I feel like we could go on for a while. He rants. Mr. Lewis Black joins us. How are you, sir?
I'm good. All things considered, good.
I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule.
Well, it's my life is devoted to taking time out of my schedule. So it's and I'm glad to be able to spend some time talking to Philadelphia.
Before we got started, you told me that you're just getting back. You're on tour right now, moving around different places. Where are you just coming back from?
I just came back from Las Vegas.
And now you're going all over the place. You'll be in our area. We'll get all the dates up on the screen, but Reading, Bensalem, Wilmington. You're going internationally. So very clearly, you still love doing this.
Yeah, I do. I still really I love it. It's become a little tougher because the things that made it really enjoyable was like, you go into a town and you could park your tour bus in the town. And now it's harder and harder to park the tour bus there.
So why is it just the safety factor? Is the travel factor? Why can't you do that anymore?
It started last year, and it's there are less places you can take the bus into, or you can't park near the theater. So everything becomes just it's a little more than what it was before. But the not being able to spend time in the town is really it just irksome.
Take us back a little bit, because I was reading some of your background as how you even got into this. So you've kind of done the whole theater, the background, the comedy thing, going back to like 12 years old.
I was about to be bar mitzvahed almost. So, and I thought that might be the gig, because you could actually stand up in front of a group of people and, tell them whatever you wanted to until they threw you out of the temple. I became interested in theater back then because my father, when I was about 13 or 14, I started going to the theater with my dad, and I was seeing 6-8 plays a week, a week, idiot. And you'd seeing eight shows and over the course of the year. And these were like, at the time, and this is going back, remarkable shows like the original Hello, Dolly with Carol Channing. So, I was seeing first run shows before they were going to Broadway. So, and I got suckered into it. I thought it was incredible. I got fascinated by theater.
Hundreds of shows that you were associated with in some capacity. When did it kind of transition to, I'm going to do the comedy thing, I'm going to make my name as the guy who will say what other people are afraid to say?
I was writing plays. I was involved in theater until I was 40. So I did it for 20 years. I wrote a ton of plays, and I ran a room with a number of other guys here in New York, which was called the West Bank Cafe Downstairs Theater Bar. It was upstairs a restaurant, downstairs we had a nice, what would be called a cabaret space, but essentially a nice little stage, 100 seats, and most importantly, a bar. And we were able to perform there and do really a whole ton of plays, and I introduced everything. And then I had a play done in Houston, Texas, and it was a horrific experience. It was a musical that me and my friend who ran the theater, we wrote it. He did the music and lyrics. I did the book. The guy who was the director was also involved with that theater, and we took it down to Houston. It was a horrible experience. It was just awful, and this is what I'd been aspiring to. Now I finally get there, and it was an awful. I said, I've been aspiring to do this. No, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. These people are nuts. It's like an abusive orphanage theater. So I went across town to audition for a comedy club there, and then I did 15 minutes. They immediately offered me work. Somebody had dropped out. They offered me the same amount of money I was making for a play that I spent 2 years working on. They gave me a nicer place to stay than the theater had, and they gave me a car. And this is years ago. And I just went, that's it. I mean,
and the rest is history, right? Get this play stuff. I can make as much money in 15 minutes, and I get to just go on stage and be me.
I was broke, and I didn't care. Until that moment, I didn't care about being broke. I had just enough money to get by without health insurance. So I was like, everything was okay. I had no money in the bank, but I was like, I loved doing what I was doing. But finally I went, I gotta be able to survive.
Coming up next, he discovered fairly late in his career that ranting, it just worked for him.
Well, my anger and frustration is what made people laugh. And so all of a sudden I went, oh, there's the key, you idiot.
Was there a period of time where it kind of, the Lewis Black who you are now and known for and taking on the issues and the rants and I don't care what you think, was that you that just came on stage, or did that person kind of evolve, that comfort level evolve?
Oh, that evolved, because yelling on stage was not something I thought, people were really ready. I literally, when I started yelling on stage, would turn my back to the audience and yell at the wall because I didn't want to yell directly at them. And then finally, a friend of mine, another comic, was watching me one night and he said, I'm on stage yelling the whole time and have nothing really that I should be yelling about. There's no reason I should be yelling. You're the one who should be yelling. So when you go on stage, I want you to just, let it rip and just yell and just, get out the feelings you have, get the anger out, the frustration. And I did. And I went, oh, and the audience loved it. And also it keyed me into, as many comics, it takes a long time to get keyed into what it is that makes you funny, because what makes you funny is fairly personal. If they reject that, they reject you. Mm-hmm. Well, my anger and frustration is what made people laugh. And so all of a sudden I went, oh, there's the key, you idiot.
So you were surprised that the whole ranting, I'm pissed off about this and I'm going to go on stage and say it. Even you were surprised that was successful.
I was surprised it was successful, but I wasn't surprised that hadn't worked. Then chances are I'd be teaching theater right now in Philadelphia.
Ranting and taking on the issues, that's less comfortable today, isn't it? Like more and more people are being challenged for taking on the issues, and you go headlong into it.
I mean, I also pick things that I try to, I think that I try to get both sides of that issue out, or certain things I just go, no, enough's enough. I'm an adult. I've lived through a certain amount of time. I've seen what the hell goes on in this country. And certain things I'm not going to tolerate. We went through it. We're not going back. We're not doing that again. We did it, okay? Decided. We move on. If you idiots want to live in the 20th century, be my guest. Go for it. But there's certain things that it's just, this is the end of it. We have to have adults in the room. So you've got those on the left, you got those on the right, and they shut up. They're humorless. They have no sense that the joke is here and then it's gone and it's not going to come back and bite you. Okay, it went away. Don't worry about it. You'll get it. I'll get it on Twitter. It's like, this is nonsense. Okay. I'm an idiot wandering around. It's like the only thing separating me from what I'm doing and being a clown is a red nose. Get a grip, people. Get a grip.
I was watching one of your shows actually before I came in here, and it went back a little ways. But you came out and you said, listen, by the time I get finished talking, somebody's going to be offended, and set it up as if you were about to apologize to people. And then if you are, that's on you. You had ample opportunity to not come. So you just embrace it.
And I finally just said, we're not playing this game anymore. You came to the theater and you paid for the ticket. You don't take your kids to the movies without reading the review. Okay. You don't sit with your kids and go, oh boy, maybe I should have read the review. I didn't know they killed everybody. So you take 5 minutes out to look to see who it is you're going to go see as a comedian, especially now. It's ludicrous and it's tiresome. And even if, you came in and you had a certain expectation and the comedian crossed the line, here's what you do. You shut up. Okay? Just shut up.
Was there a period of time where we got to the point where we started trying to silence the joke? Or has that always been waters you had to navigate?
People get upset, but a lot of that was already cleared. The brush was cleared by George Carlin, Lenny Bruce, Richard Pryor. It's adults in the room being entertained. And some of them are crybabies. Who knew? You used to be able to do it. There was some blowback but not like on the level we went through recently. No, it's just I can't even go into it, and I just can't even go. I'm screaming in 2 seconds.
Next, sometimes in our society, you've just got to laugh to stop from crying.
And that's funny. When you ban Shakespeare, that's funny. And you read it in a book, you'd be laughing. All you got to do is look at the way in which we handle Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. We know that they're seeing each other. There doesn't need to be this whole kind of thing of like, oh, they went there and they did this and they did that. This is high school on a level. It's beyond high school. We didn't even do that there. Walking down the hallway. Oh, they're seeing each other. God, what grade are we in? Do we not get past puberty?
So, off the rails, the tour that you're on right now. But I'm looking at some of the things and looking at your bio on your own page. Like, he is willing to take on history, politics, religion, culture. And I'm sitting here going, all things that we're trying to silence right now. So when we check out your show, and you'll be in our area, again, dates up on the screen, what are we going to see on the Off the Rails tour?
Just some happy comedies.
Of course, happy talk.
Snappy patter. I like to do some show tunes. That always gets, I end by singing Tomorrow from Annie. No, essentially I'm developing what will be my probably final special, I think. We'll see. I'm working on it now, and it seems to be a good place to kind of wrap things up, which is, how do you satirize what's already satiric? I mean, some of the stuff that's happening is, I think, funny. The audience is upset by it. Both sides are upset by it. And I'm sorry, some of it is just, is funny. Banning books. It's not funny, but if you read in a book, not in a headline, but in a book that they were banning the reading of chunks of Romeo and Juliet. And you weren't letting the kids read Romeo and Juliet in its entirety anymore because you thought it was too much sex in it. Guess what you are? You're clinically insane. Okay? That's what you are. That's the definition of clinical insanity. World's greatest playwright ever, and no kids finish this and go, oh boy, I can't wait to start humping everything. Nobody does that. No one, anywhere, okay? Not one child. They can barely get through a sentence and understand it. And you idiots, now you're going to attract them to it. What a bunch of jackasses. And that's funny. When you ban Shakespeare, that's funny. And then the group that's banning the book. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about on stage. This will drive some people. People are going to go, I'm not going to go watch that. Well, don't. I don't have time anymore. The group that's trying to ban the book in many places is called Moms for Liberty. Okay? They're banning books, and they're called Moms for Liberty. I don't know how to make a better joke. Okay? It's Moms for Freedom. We're going to ban a book. What? Seriously?
And it makes you laugh if it wasn't so real. And I think that's part of what makes you go, wow, this is actually happening.
But the part of what I've begun to feel is if you don't laugh at it, if you don't have the ability to laugh at idiots, to put them in their place. You can't take seriously jackasses, okay? These people are being as dumb as posts, and you kind of got to laugh at them in order to take the stuffing out of them.
You're also going back internationally and continuing that discussion in your tour overseas and have continued to do that. Is it different? You know, people overseas, like they have the concept of what's stupid, you know, what's ridiculous, seems very different when you travel internationally.
Well, I mean, part of the thing is they literally watch us, and most Americans who've not traveled don't know this. They watch us like it's a Netflix show. It's like being streamed. We are streamed into their homes, and the lunacy of what we do, they sit there and go, "Are you kidding me?" And it's issue after issue after issue. Really, you don't have health care? Nah, why would we have health care? That'd be stupid. They don't take a side. They know that this is, you know, they don't bring anything to the table except common sense, something that we lost along the way.
I think what is, at least for me, what is hopefully encouraging is the fact that you've been able to do these rants and take on these issues and go headfirst into them and have had to pick your battles. But for the most part, people laugh and agree with you and go, wow, that really is stupid. Like, that's encouraging. We just have to get more people in positions of power and leadership to do it rather than just us in the public.
And we actually need to have people who actually want to lead and who have an ability, which comedians in many ways have more of an ability to speak English than many of the people that get elected. You kind of go, wow, I can't believe what just came out of that person's mouth. It's incomprehensible. What about somebody who just, you know, talks, you know, and kind of helps us along, as opposed to worrying about whether they're going to get elected again? Please, wake up.
Coming up, Lewis Black shares why even with all of the ranting, he remains hopeful.
I lived in a period of time when if we argued ideas, not realities, and we will get back to that time.
I want to give you a chance before we wrap, because the whole theme of this show is the concept of use your voice for good. It's the theme of the show. But in fairness and in jokes aside, you have an extensive list of charities that you have been involved with, work that you are consistently doing, everything from autism to the military, cystic fibrosis, Parkinson's. Why is being an advocate and a champion of all those things so important to you?
I have just enough celebrity in my life that it has been fun. And what it gave me the opportunity is being a voice for certain groups. So I'm the chairman of the board of the Kurt Vonnegut Museum and Library. So and they do some really great work in terms of, you know, teaching, dealing with banned books. And I've worked with the 52nd Street Project, a mentoring group. And all of a sudden I had the opportunity to tell folks, look, here's something you might want to send money to. And, you know, so I got to work with the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and the list, it kind of goes on because it was really the opportunity to be able to say something and help people. And that really was important to me because that's the reason we're here is to help each other.
We ask everybody to define what use your voice for good means to you. I'm curious to hear what that means to you.
It means that you use your voice to show people that you care, that you understand, that you are empathetic, and that you find certain behavior at times inexcusable. And whether you like it or not, you be an adult.
I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. In a lot of ways, I'm sitting here talking to you going, I hope at some point in my career, I get to the point where I am that free, you know, to just go ahead and say what needs to be said, free of any consequences.
I'm not a big Bible quoter, but this too shall pass. We will come through this. I lived in a period of time when we argued ideas, not realities, and we will get back to that time where we share a reality.
Lewis Black, thank you so much. Appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. Thanks for coming on the Pulse.
If you ever want me back, that was great. I really needed that.
We will absolutely have you back. I appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for watching The Pulse today with Lewis Black. That's assuming I'm still here and still have a job after that discussion. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I do. That is somebody who is all about keeping it real, is going to say what he feels like he needs to say, and you take it and you deal with it. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I leave you as I always do, reminding you whenever you can, use your voice for good and have a good one.